want to go home. Suitcase, sunglasses, pail and shovel. Oh, hi everybody. I've got to start packing for a trip to my Granny Bird's house by the seashore. I'm so excited about going there because I just love the ocean. I love to take my little boats out into the water and pretend I'm a sea captain, roaming the seven seas in search of adventure. Sometimes I might meet a giant octopus, and sometimes a big storm comes up, and I have to haul up the mizzenmast and batten down the hatches. But my granny is always waiting on shore with a nice big fuzzy towel and some birdseed cookies when my adventure is over. I am the bird who's in command of this entire navy. From where I stand, you can't see land. The ocean's wide and wavy. So grab a sailor suit and you might learn to love the color blue. A sailor you will be with Admiral Byrd, that's me. We're off to sail the ocean wide, so batten down the hatches. We'll weigh the anchor starboard side and fasten up the latches. We'll swab the deck and trim the sail, and maybe you will see a whale. When you are out to sea with Admiral Byrd, that's me. I give the orders and you do what I say. I'm in charge of everything, 'cause that's the Navy way. I'll do the thinking, so put your mind on ice. I'm the only admiral, it's nautical but nice. Now keep your eyes on starboard bow and don't ignore the compass, and set a watch upon the prow so pirate ships won't jump us. Then hoist the jib and shout avast and scramble up the mizzenmast. You'll love it on the sea with Admiral Byrd. That's me. Ahoy! But wait till I tell you about my first trip to Granny Bird's. It was really something. Before I tell you about it, though, I want to tell you about this little sound. That sound means it's time to turn the page in your book. So remember, start on the first page of the book, the page that has the picture of my friends waving goodbye to me. And whenever you hear this, turn the page. Okay, here we go. Today was going to be a big day for me. I was going to visit Granny Bird. She lived at the seashore. It was my first trip away from home. My friends took me to the bus stop. Goodbye, Big Bird. Have fun. We will miss you, they said. I will miss you too, I said. Did you remember that that sound means turn the page? I thought the bus would never get there. It went over hills, under bridges, and through tunnels. Gee, I hope Granny is waiting for me, I said to myself. At last, the bus stopped. Granny Bird waved to me. My little Big Bird, I am so happy to see you, Granny said. Me too, Granny, I said. After lunch, we went to the beach. Granny's friends all said, "My, what a nice grandson." But I did not want to talk. I wanted to go into the water. "Go on, dear," said Granny. "I can watch you from here." I ran was the first time that I had ever seen the sea. Wow, it sure is big, I said. I had fun all afternoon, racing the waves and playing in the sand. I found some really pretty seashells, too. Granny and I had supper on the porch. We watched the sun go down. The sunset over the ocean was about the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. I was tired from playing in the ocean. I yawned. Time for bed, Granny said. Granny tucked me in, kissed me goodnight, and turned on the nightlight. Sleep tight, she said. But I did not sleep tight. I thought about Sesame Street, and the more I thought, the sadder I felt. I miss my nest, I whispered. A tear rolled down my cheek. I miss my friends, I cried softly. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I miss my nest, I miss my friends, and they miss me. Granny Bird is really nice, but I'm going to tell her twice. I want to go home. I want to go home. I cried myself to sleep. At breakfast, I just looked at my birdseed pancakes. Granny Bird had made a lot of great things to eat, but I just couldn't eat one bite. What is wrong, Big Bird? Granny asked. When will I be going home? I asked sadly. I know what is wrong. You are homesick, Granny said. Will I have to go to a doctor? I asked. No, Big Bird, Granny said. You'll get better all by yourself, and very soon. Then Granny gave me some picture postcards. Do you want to send these to your friends back home? She asked. Yes, I said happily. You write what I say, and I will write my name myself. My favorite card was a picture of the sun setting over the ocean. I mailed that one to Snuffy. We mailed the postcards on our way to the beach. Then I said, I am going to build a Sesame Street sandcastle. I got my pail and shovel and started to dig. I worked and worked. At last it was built. Look, Granny, I live here, and Ernie and Bert live there, and just then, a big wave crashed onto the beach. It rolled over my wonderful sandcastle. Oh, what a shame, Granny said. But don't cry, Big Bird. Why don't you try to find some pretty seashells to give to your friends? I walked down the beach. I found a big shell for Ernie, a little spotted shell for Bert, and a round shell that looked like a cookie. This one is for Cookie Monster, I said. Thinking of my friends back home made me feel homesick again. Then I saw something funny, a soggy old boot. I picked it up, and someone laughed. I looked around and saw a boy. What are you going to do with that rotten old boot? The boy asked me. Give it to Oscar, I said. And I told the boy about my friend Oscar the Grouch, who liked everything yucky. The boy told me he had a friend who liked everything yucky too, only his friend was a girl. The boy's name was Wally. He lived in town. Come on, he said. I'll show you my secret cave. Wow, I said. Snuffy would love your cave. Then I told Wally about my friend Snuffy. I wish I had a friend like that, Wally said. That night, I ate 2 bowls of birdseed stew for supper. I told Granny all about my new friend Wally. Granny said, I am so happy that you feel better. Later in bed, I missed my nest a little bit, but I thought about playing with Wally the next day, and soon I was sound asleep. Every day, Wally and I played together. We played ball in the water. We played follow the leader on the beach. We made sand forts and tunnels. Finally, it was my last day at Granny's house. It was a cold, rainy day. Wally came to say goodbye. I felt sad. It felt almost like being homesick. I will write to you, Wally said. I will write to you too, I said. Then the rain stopped, the sun came out, and a rainbow lit up the sky. Wally and I ran out. We played until Granny said, time to go, Big Bird. I'm going home. Yes, I'm going home. To my nest and to my friends and to my street. I like playing in the sand, but Granny Bird must understand. I want to go home. I want to go home. I was lonesome for Sesame Street until I met my new friend Wally. You can make friends any place you go. Now I'm happy. I'm going home. Yes, I'm going home. To see my nest, to see my friends, 'cause they'll see me. And my new friend will be waiting patiently till I come back for a visit by the sea. But for now, I want to go home. Yes, now, I want to go home. It's time for me to go home. Yes, now, I'm on my way home. Then Granny said, come back next summer. I said, you bet I will. And that's the end of the book. I sure did go back to Granny Bird's house, by the way, lots of times. And I had fun every single time. I met some of Wally's friends, and I learned the names of lots of seashells. And I got to be a good swimmer, too. You know, the first time away from home is always the hardest. Well, I have to go now, or I'll miss my bus to Granny Bird's house. Bye-bye. Let the tape run to the end before you turn off the machine. Then you can turn the tape over and play this program again whenever you want to. Bye-bye.